Our guest tonight is Todd Johanningsmeier.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and bleeding. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. Looking for answers. What a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Breathing the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night, looking down the
Now, we're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with MonsterQuest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello, hello.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Jeff.
Hi, Doug.
Welcome. Welcome to the coldest January and never. It's just same, right? It's the same. every
It's cold.
year. It's below zero. In fact, it's so cold.
I love this
This
clip.
is how cold it is. Just please
Nope.
enjoy Duck's changing camera. All right.
Hold on. We're gonna.
This is what happens. Jeff has,
Get it to
lost,
stop.
Jeff has lost control of his ducks.
I'm good now. All good.
All right. Anyhow, welcome everybody to Untold Radio, episode 280.
280.
Yeah, 280. So we have a really, I think, a good show. We've got our featured guest. He's an eyewitness turned researcher, Todd Johanningsmeier. Well,
Yep.
that's a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good, I think, German name.
I think so.
Long. It's long. But my neighbor was named Johann.
Ah,
So it's Johanningsmeier. Correct? Yeah.
yeah.
all
Looking
right.
forward to talking to him.
Yeah, and he'll be reporting from deep in the Ozarks. And he'll be sharing his experiences and what they led him to uncover. So we also have our usually odd, fast, and unsettling segments designed to inform.
I don't want it unsettling.
Oh yeah, unsettling. To inform and entertain. And I wrote entertain. I swear in my notes I wrote it with a Y. So it was entertain.
Entertain
you.
We're gonna entertain you tonight.
Yeah, so I thought we could maybe, for fun, we could do that all night. We could,
For
Purposely
everyone's entertainment.
yeah, we could transpose any T's into Y's. Okay, we'll just see how it works out. You get a quarter for every one you transpose.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
So should I call you Dogu for the rest of the night? DOGU.
How is that turning a T into a Y?
Transposing letters. GU. Doku.
No. I said
Dogu.
T, not me. T into a Y.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. Anyhow, we have we have Eric Steamboat Reed Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
who for the first time ever, somebody else is going to do, well, besides you, Jeff, is going to do a tech breakdown for us.
Didn't Adam do one once?
Maybe he did. Yeah, you're right.
I think he
Adam
did.
Okay, so he's number 3.
The second for all time.
He's second.
Yes, it'd be great.
And so anybody out there listening, if you got a cool idea for Bigfoot tech or fieldwork tech or camping gear, and you want to come on and share it, please do.
Give me an email. I'll put my email up here.
Yeah, just
I think everyone has it, but I'll put it up
Jeff.
anyways.
Call him night and day. Post your phone number too, Jeff.
I'm gonna give everybody your phone number, your home number.
Yeah, give me my home number. Anyhow, so I guess that's all I had to say. Other than it's really cold.
It is.
But I'm
too cold for ducks.
I'm in a good mood. I know you're in a good mood.
Always.
And so we'll have fun tonight. And let's do the grab the comforter out from under your bed, because I know that's where you store it. Make some hot cocoa or another beverage like Jeff likes to make. What's that?
No comment.
Scotch. Or you can do that.
That was a New Year's Eve only.
I know, but it just sits with me. I'm never going to let it up, ever.
Why not? Why would you?
I'll be bringing this up in May. Okay.
Yeah.
So get the lights down low. Turn the volume up, and let's get going into the Untold here.
Yep.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
Good job on the bumper.
Thanks.
It was an excellent job.
Thank you.
Now for more reality and weird
Yes.
and fast news. So apparently NASA has completed a next-gen Roman space telescope. It's a game changer, I guess, for finding alien worlds. That will be interesting. I mean, how can you go any farther than the Hubble? I guess it's endless, right?
Yeah,
Right?
It just goes on and I'm sorry, I was adjusting my lights. Yes, I'm listening.
Sure you are. Anyhow, NASA has just finished building its Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, a powerful new space observatory designed to revolutionize how we map the universe and hunt for exoplanets. Apparently, it's brandishing a massive 7.9-foot mirror.
That's huge.
288 megapixel infrared camera. See,
Also huge.
that's what's going to get interesting, because
Yeah.
they see into spectrums we can't see with our eyes.
Yeah.
Roman, as they're calling it, will sit at the sun's Sun-Earth L2 point, working alongside Webb and Gaia to survey the cosmos. So there you go.
Lagrange. Does everyone know what L2 is? Do you know what L2 means?
I have no idea. I thought it was your spine.
The L2, no, it's Lagrange point. It's a Lagrange point where the gravity between sun and the Earth cancels each other out. So you can kind of park something there with almost no energy to move it.
So it's
Just
like
stays put.
right between the pull of the.
It's in between the gravities.
Yeah.
So it's by gravity. Yeah. It's the exact middle point of the gravity.
Yeah, pretty soon I'll reveal where my Lagrange point is.
And there's multiple Lagrange points. That's the L2 one.
Well, I've got
Pretty
one.
cool stuff.
I've got a Lagrange point. All right. Number 2 weird and fast is a mysterious, massive iron bar has been discovered in deep space. Of course, that's an actual picture, Jeff.
Obviously, it's an actual photograph.
I personally went out in space and got it.
I remember that. You got up there quick.
Yeah, it was quick. It was a quick trip. It says astronomers have uncovered a bizarre cosmic structure, trillions of miles long. I want you to think about that a while. Trillions mile long iron bar.
That's crazy.
Just let that sink in. Just that. I mean, you could get on your Moto Guzzi and you'd take you about maybe 100,000 years.
It took me a while.
Or than that. I don't know. Someone needs to do the math on that. Anyhow, it's spanning nearly 4 trillion miles and boasting a mass similar to Mars.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. This colossal iron formation was mapped using an advanced spectroscopic instrument and appears to be the fossilized remains of a rocky planet vaporized.
Oh, that makes sense.
So apparently that's what happens to us eventually. We all turn into part of an iron bar.
Yeah.
And then float aimlessly in space.
Crazy. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So you don't have to pay rent this month.
Fair
we'll
enough.
be in iron bar soon. Apparently, it says beyond its sheer oddity and size, this discovery shows how new instrumentation can reveal unexpected chemical structures.
That's
in the
amazing. That's
nebulae,
really cool.
challenging current ideas, blah, 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 blah. It goes on, blah, blah, blah. But that is pretty weird. I can't imagine an object trillions of miles wide.
Well, kind of think of it. It was it was inside the planet, and the rest of the planet broke off and blew away. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like a big iron bar through the middle of the planet.
That was one big planet.
Yeah.
It's like a giant compass.
That's crazy.
All right. And then we have something I love when I see words like this. Space viruses. That scares me.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong? Space viruses evolve in 0G. Now, I don't like this idea. Implications for drug-resistant medicines. Now, okay, it says in the first of its kind study, researchers sent bacterias and viruses to infect bacteria. So they sent bacteriophages, which are really tiny bacteria, kind of like bacteria that infect you with Lyme's disease are really tiny. They're not really true bacteria. They burrow into your nerve cells.
Mm-hmm.
They're much smaller bacteria and they hide. Okay, hold on here. It says apparently it says to infect bacteria to the International Space Station to observe how they evolve in microgravity.
That just seems like a terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea. The experiment reveals that virus-bacteria interactions in space diverge significantly from Earth's physics and mutations, emerging that change how viruses attach and attack the bacterial host. These shifts underscore how microgravity reshapes evolutionary rules. Okay, so the whole thing is like scary.
It's like 10 different kinds of bad ideas.
Yeah, it's like the making of a bad horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in fact, Jeff, I think me and you will make that horror movie.
I'm down. I'm in.
Yeah, astronomers spot a ghost galaxy. It's probably waiting for looks like it's waiting for the iron bar to come in.
Sure.
Okay, so scientists using
it's all part of the plan.
The antique Hubble, right? We can say that now. The old antique Hubble Space Telescope have found a bizarre cosmic object dubbed Cloud 9, a dark matter-dominated cloud with no stars at all. Unlike a typical galaxy teeming with stars, Cloud 9 appears to be devoid of any stellar light, confirming a long-standing theoretical prediction of failed galaxies that never ignited a star. So their Bic lighter never went off.
Yeah.
Right?
Not
Maybe
enough mass, I'm guessing.
Maybe
That's
that
cool.
bar magnet says Flint.
Yeah.
Way. Well, it looks like it would fit right in there.
Sure.
Right in that hole, doesn't it?
Spark one up.
I don't know why everything's space tonight, but it is.
It's cool stuff. I love space stuff.
Yeah, and then our fifth story is a rare near opposition alignment of the interstellar visitor comet 3I Atlas. All right. I think it's at the Lagrange point.
No.
It says an interstellar comet known as 3I Atlas, a visitor from beyond our solar system, is entering a rare near opposition alignment with Earth. And that happens Sunday on January 20th. Now, that ain't right.
That's not right.
That's not right. It says in the Sunday on January 22nd.
Oh, it's the sun, not Sunday.
Oh, the sun. Duh.
Okay.
Gosh, you got me on that one, didn't you?
So 4 days from now.
Yeah, 4 days from now. This unique position means that scientists can measure the object's light properties with extraordinary precision, offering clues about its dust, structure, and origins of millions of miles from home. This alignment won't recur for decades, so they better get their rulers out, right?
That's cool. It's too bad we couldn't send something up there to meet it. I'm still convinced it's a natural phenomenon, just a weird one. I don't think it's a spaceship or anything like that.
Pretty sure it's just natural.
Yeah.
No, not so good. First ever NASA medical evacuation from space station after a health issue. And I would imagine they can't talk about what that is because of HIPAA laws.
Sure.
But it says for the first time in its 25-year history, NASA is racing to return a crew from the International Space Station early due to a medical issue with one of the astronauts. It says a move that was deemed necessary for the person's well-being. What do you think?
Could be. I mean,
What do you think?
That's scary. Some kind of health issue.
Yeah, it says, while NASA has not disclosed specific details for privacy reasons, the decision led to canceling a planned spacewalk and has put a spotlight on how health is managed aboard orbiting labs. No thanks.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Tommy Bartlett's where they had the, I think it's a replica or an old space station? And you get to walk through it. Oh, it's kind of cool. It's at the Tommy Bartlett Museum in the Dells, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I've never been to the Dells.
Oh my God. It's really cool because they have a kind of a space museum there.
Oh yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
And so I got to be in the space station and it's not fun. No thanks.
Oh really?
No. Not happening. I'd have claustrophobia in there after a while. All right, what else we got? Oh, and this one is a big one. I've been hearing about this over and over and over, and hopefully, let me know in the comments if you guys have. It's a viral rumor that Earth is to lose gravity for 7 seconds on August 26th. I think it's the 12th of August. It says a bizarre viral claim has been sweeping social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, Facebook that Earth will mysteriously lose gravity for 7 seconds. And that's an actual picture.
Obviously, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
from the last time we lost gravity.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was a heck of a day.
What it was for. It says they're saying that Earth will mysteriously lose gravity for 7 seconds
again
on August 12th, 2026, supposedly linked to a secret NASA program called Project Anchor. With an $89 billion budget, that's enough to open a couple daycares.
Upwards of several.
Yeah, a couple. Two or three.
Yeah.
According to the videos and posts, the event would cause catastrophic effects and that NASA knows about it but is keeping the details hidden, igniting worry, speculation, and conspiracy buzz across the internet. And I can tell you, there are people that have come to me and are freaked out about this. And I'm kind of like, I kind of know that.
Yeah, I kind of am not.
It's
buying
probably
that
some
one.
kid in his mom's basement that just thought it would be cool to, make up some little story and it went viral. And that's what happens when things go viral. It says with the scientists and actual space agencies have firmly debunked the claim.
Yeah.
Although if it was going to happen, they probably wouldn't tell us, would they? No.
True, but I'm just not buying that one.
NASA and independent fact checkers point out there is no evidence of any gravity blackouts, no hidden projects, and no plausible physics. That's what I say that would let that happen. They're saying like two black holes are coming together.
Yeah, the Earth would be destroyed before that happened.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
maybe that's going to happen. Who knows?
It'd be hilarious. It's like our podcast is on that day and we start floating away.
Yeah, I think there'd be some issues, yeah.
I'll just say that podcast didn't age well, did it, Jeff?
No, might be the last one ever.
Okay, anyhow.
Enough of that crap.
Enough of that crap. Hey, Yeah,
Is it time for the weird fact of the week?
It's time for the weird fact of the week.
Okay, I think we should do the weird fact of the week.
I think so. Let's do it.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
Okay. See, I got you. See, you're right there.
My face is the weird fact of the
People
week. Fair
can
enough.
enjoy you. All right. So, and I found this really, really interesting. All right.
Yes.
For over 45 years, a powerful radio signal, and I've heard it, has continuously broadcast into space from Earth, yet nobody knows. In other words, nobody living remembers turning it on. The signal comes from the mysterious UVB 76 transmitter nicknamed the Buzzer. It transmits a flat mechanical buzzing sound every few seconds, 24/7, only interrupted by rare voices, reciting cryptic numbers. I've heard this actually numerous times. Numbers and names, though it started in the Cold War era and the Soviets are long gone, the signal mysteriously persists. So apparently, nobody knows where the switch is.
Yeah.
It's for more than 45 years.
Yep.
This thing has been going. Okay, I'm just speeding through this article.
This is the one coming from Russia and somewhere, right? That's the one I'm thinking of the right one?
Yes,
yeah.
yes. It says engineers and radio hobbyists have tracked it, changing location, switching transmitters, and even briefly going silent before restarting. It says one theory suggests it's part of a dead hand nuclear system designed to signal automatic retaliation. If leadership is destroyed, others believe it's a spy channel, a fail-safe military heartbeat, or a psychological operation meant to confuse foreign intelligence. Whatever its true purpose, the signal continues to hum into the void.
Yeah,
Right?
it's pretty weird. I've heard it too.
It's a reminder that some machines once started were never meant to be shut off.
Yeah,
There
probably
you
a
go.
Cold War
And if
relic.
you just get a ham radio, a shortwave radio, and you can hear
Shortwave.
it. It's crazy.
I have several of them.
Yeah, you know what we should do? You should get your radio hooked up and speaker near a mic, and we'll play it for people.
I could do that. Yeah, I can do that.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
All right. Now I do wonder, and I do really wonder is I'm looking, is Eric ready?
He was.
He was. There
he is.
Thumbs up there from
Yeah.
Eric. Hey, Eric, tilt your camera down. We want to see your whole head. We just see. There you go. Yeah, there you go. We want to see you. Perfect.
Better.
And did he supply you any wonderful photos? This is
Yep. Let me, let's see here.
This is a really cool thing. Let's bring Eric on.
Sure. Hold on.
Coming on, Eric. There we go.
Okay. And
I'm coming back. There we go.
There we are.
I'm really here.
And welcome, Eric.
All right.
Hey,
Sorry
man.
about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
You can.
just hold
Hey,
still.
How are you?
Hold still, Eric. Hold still.
I'm sorry. I had to move my phone because the signal's bad here. I'm sorry. It's just a technical difficulty on my end.
Okay,
But
so
I'm
let me. There's going to be a huge delay, Eric. Just hang on. So Eric came to me with a message, and he asked me if I knew anything about this kind of camera that basically sees with sound, right? And so go ahead and you take the floor. Tell us about what you found out.
all right. So today I'll be your not an expert, and I'm gonna be not an expert on idea that I saw in a video that could possibly be used in the field of Sasquatch research. It's called acoustic imaging cameras, or acoustic cameras, or sound cameras, if you want to call it that. But one thing that this does is it takes sounds and shows you exactly where they're coming from. It has an array of microphones that are spaced out in different spots on this radar looking thing that's on the screen there. And it has a video little video display on it that will show you where the sounds are coming from. Let's say if I snap over here, you'll see the sound come from over there where I snap at. And it'll be in different colors for different frequencies and stuff. And also you can trim it to where you can search for certain frequencies and you won't get some out of the frequency range sounds like birds chirping or anything like that. You can actually zoom in on some like infrasound kind of sounds that are you're looking for specifically. And another good thing about this technology is that if you can see where the sound's coming from, and thank you. I can see these comments right here, but I can't see the chat right now. But thank y'all. But you could see where the sound is coming from, and you might be able to pinpoint, locate, and maybe track something moving through the woods, behind the woods that you wouldn't normally be able to see. And so I've been doing my research on it, and I ended up just writing Doug here. And I tell you, Doug is just as an awesome person in the normal world as he is on this live channel and everything. He's just an awesome person all around. He's given me the opportunity to come on here and just give an idea out. But yeah, the drawbacks of this technology, though, would be probably that if you're not pointing it in a direction that the sound is coming from, it doesn't have 360-degree range. So you're going to get an audio file on it, but you're not going to pick up where it came from or the directionality of it. But like I said, I've never seen anybody use these in Sasquatch research before. And I figured if anybody did know, it might be Doug if anybody had used it before. So I just wrote him on, just a random night, and I just kind of threw him just a random thought. And he said, why don't you come on the show and tell us about it? So here I am. And
Cool.
Now I've tried to find one of these in person, but they're very expensive machines. The very low end ones, I think you can get them on Amazon, probably around $1,200. And that's going to be very low quality camera, very low quality sound coming from, it's going to be the lowest quality you can get. But if you go into the higher range models like Fluke and FLIR, they have some models that go up to $30,000. Like that's a Fluke right there, the yellow one right there. And that's about a $30,000 machine. So I just figured, why not pass the knowledge along? Maybe it's a good idea. I'm not in the position to buy any of this equipment. So, I just figured it'd be a good idea. And I'm just glad to be here and talking with y'all. Both of you gentlemen are just as great off camera as you are on camera, man. I've had a great time.
Hey, Eric, you did a great job.
Yes.
Thank you. And I've got my helper here. This is Pixie.
You put me to shame. Oh, and people want to know your puppy's name.
It's Pixie.
There you go.
Yep.
So I love it when there's Pixie. I love it when people think out of the box.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was really, really impressed, with the idea, because the more I looked into it, like anything, the prices are going to come down. The stuff is everything. Technology is just coming down and down. You'll be able to buy these on Temu probably in about a month for probably $8. No, I'm joking.
I hope so. That'd be nice.
It might be. But electronics in general, if there's any demand. So the fact if anybody buys a set, it just helps. And the price will just keep coming down. They'll keep coming down. But it's very cool. I like the idea of triangulating something so you can see behind trees. Like you'll know where something's walking.
Hey man, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So that's very cool.
I figured, if there's anybody that could use this technology, it might be you. So I figured, why not pass the knowledge along?
You never know. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, there's a guy in chat right now that there's a guy in chat, Eric, that just built the most amazing camera that has got all sorts of optics in it that literally comes out of a vehicle and folds. It can zoom into, oh my God, was it like 400 yards, really clear. It's got thermal, it's got this, it's got all sorts of stuff. But he built it from scratch, like all the mechanics of it. That's Eric in our audience. And so Eric, another Eric, guy. Right? It's two Erics. Another Eric that's into technology. So anyhow, we'll come back. If you get any more ideas, Eric, come on back.
Man, I appreciate you giving me the time, and I just appreciate you've been an awesome friend as we spoke, and I can't say anything better. You know, you're just awesome. I appreciate
I appreciate that.
Thanks, Eric.
I apprete it. Thanks much, man. Good job.
If y'all are wondering, I'm kind of looking over my shoulder out here. I've got three kittens that are out here on my property, and the mama cat is a melanistic leopard, and they're on my property. I've got a hole back here where they live in, and I've got 4 melanistic leopards out here, so I'm kind of watching my back. I got my
back the truck up. How big are they?
When I say leopards, I mean they are full.
Oh no. Nate's time to cut off.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Sorry. Did I lose you there?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Say it again. You got these things are how big?
The mama of this cat, she's a black panther looking cat. She's a big one, and she's probably 3.5 or 4 feet tall, sitting down at the top of her head.
Yeah.
And
big cat.
I literally saw her right over here, probably 15 feet from me the first time I saw her. And that's when I realized that the 3 cats I've seen are kittens, and they're melanistic leopards. That's all I can tell you. They're big black cats with golden spots.
Okay, when I tour the South and I start looking for witnesses, and I'll tell you, this is like unanimous. Every single witness I talked to said, "Oh, let me tell you about the black leopards we have around here." Oh, so I'm like, I must have heard that 100 times, Eric. I heard it 100 times. So there's got to be. I mean, I believe you.
Keep that puppy safe.
Yeah, I'm glad you're armed.
Yeah,
jeez.
He stays with me.
That's good.
All right. Good night, Eric, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, and y'all keep up the great work. I love the show. I'm a great fan, and y'all are just awesome. I appreciate all the time y'all have given me. Y'all are just, I can't say anything better. Y'all are awesome.
Oh,
thanks, man. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks,
all right, buddy.
That was cool. That's a cool piece of technology.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky because he was armed.
Yeah.
You can tell he was looking over his shoulders.
Yeah, keep that dog safe, man.
And I don't know what the deal is because, like, how can there be that many leopards in the South? But I hear this over and over and over and over and over and over by so many people, and they're always melanistic.
Yeah.
Which means they're black.
Right.
Rogers said there's a few jaguarundis down here, and they could be that, but I don't even think they are because most of the people tell me how big they are. So that's weird. All right, where are we at now? Let's do our clips quick.
Clips?
And then let me know when we get Todd back in.
Okay. I think he's actually back there. We might not have. He's in the dark, I think. So I think we're just gonna have audio of him.
Oh, but, that's fine. That's fine.
Let's do some clips.
That way. All right. And our message to Todd: if you have lights and you can turn on some lights, that'd be awesome. But
he's outside. He's out in his backyard.
That's fine too. We don't care.
Yeah.
I love it. You could see there could be a candle. You could go get a candle. You got time. Go get a candle.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Or something. Flashlight. That'd be awesome. Could do the spooky lighting. All right, clip 1. This was sent to me by Flat Rockland, one of our audience members that we love. better known as Matt. And this was really kind of a wow clip. And it's a mirage effect that helps researchers hide objects. So it's carbon nanotubes that are used for camouflage. Go ahead and play the clip. It's really cool. And people talk about Bigfoot hair being hollow. You can see the nanotubes hanging there.
Yeah.
Fascinating, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And that's why he sent it, because, of the correlation between people, the no medulla, the hollow Bigfoot hairs, and the weird things people report. So there you go. Thank you, Flat, for that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you a bunch. And a lot of people do send clips, and I do appreciate it. Okay, clip 2. Sound is good. Lighting is powerful. Lightning, I mean. Did I say lighting? Like my head's in lighting. Lightning is really powerful, so stay safe. And you'll understand when you see this. Go ahead, play this. It's nuts. Nature is horrible.
Oh, that was bad.
All right.
Yikes.
So I saw lightning hit the lake I'm on once, real near shore, probably maybe 20 feet offshore, and it made a fire tornado off the water.
Oh, cool.
It like evaporated the water so quick. It made this huge fire tornado. And me and my daughter both saw it, and it scared the living.
I bet.
Yeah, it was terrible. All right. Clip 3. Sound is good. And this is about bee stings and bees. And bee stings are definitely way more than a poke. Watch this.
A honeybee sting isn't just a simple needle. It is a complex, sawing machine designed for maximum biological damage. It consists of 2 lancets that slide back and forth like a jigsaw. This reciprocal motion saws through your tough skin layers with frightening ease. Inside, microscopic barbs deploy like a grappling hook. In the elastic skin of mammals, these barbs lock in, making it physically impossible for the bee to pull out. To escape, the bee must rip its own abdomen apart. It flies off to die, leaving the stinging apparatus embedded in your arm. But the weapon is still alive. It has its own bundle of nerve ganglia and muscles that continue to pump automatically for over 60 seconds. Valves inside the mechanism drive the venom down the hollow shaft, emptying the entire sac into your dermis long after the bee is gone. The venom contains a peptide called melatonin. This toxin chemically burns your nerve endings, creating the sensation of searing heat.
It also contains hyaluronidase. This enzyme dissolves the tissue cement between your cells, allowing the poison to spread wider and deeper.
Your body panics. Immune cells called mast cells detect the intruder and explode, dumping massive amounts of histamine into the area. Histamine forces blood vessels to dilate and leak fluid. The redness and swelling are actually your own blood rushing in to flush out the toxin. Now, how do you get it out? You may have heard, never pinch it. While scraping is safer to avoid squeezing the sac, the truth is, speed matters more.
Every second you spend looking for a credit card is a second and the pump is injecting more poison. Pinching it out immediately is better than waiting to scrape it.
Over the next few days, white blood cells arrive to eat the damaged tissue and neutralize the remaining venom debris.
The pain is the bee's final defense.
Okay, that's enough.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like fun at all.
It's just a poke.
I haven't been stung since I was a little kid. I don't remember.
Yeah, my last time I was driving with the window down a beautiful May day, and a bee flew down my shirt.
Oh.
And of course stung me. And the bee just stayed in my shirt. You know, they leave that pumping thing that they show.
Right.
And yeah, that was painful. What else do we have here? We have do you know what a Japanese sero is?
Oh, you skipped clip 4.
I did. This is on how oil is distilled. Good catch, Jeff. It's really interesting. A lot of people
The United States.
A lot of people don't really know and understand, and this explains it in such a simple way. All of the products we get from oil and how it's distilled. Go ahead, Jeff.
States is the world's largest producer of crude oil, but at least 98% of Americans have no idea how crude oil actually turns into gasoline, diesel, and even the clothes you're wearing. So how does it actually work? First, crude oil is pumped into a massive distillation tower and heated to extreme temperatures. Inside the tower, the temperature drops from bottom to top by more than 540 degrees Fahrenheit. Because every component has a different boiling point, they separate naturally as the oil heats up. The lightest components rise first. At the very top is petroleum gas, the same gas used for cooking in many homes. Just below that is the most valuable product of all, gasoline. It makes up only about 20% of the crude oil. Lower down is naphtha. The clothes you're wearing right now are made from it. Below that is the true lifeblood of heavy industry, diesel fuel. Even further down is heavy fuel oil, a thick, sticky fuel that has to be heated before it can flow. It's cheap, extremely powerful, but full of impurities, which is why it's mostly burned by massive ocean-going cargo ships. And at the very bottom, what's left becomes asphalt, used to pave modern roads and highways. So now you know the truth about crude oil.
That's interesting.
There you go.
Now you know.
Okay, what else we got? Let's see here. Oh, now the Japanese sero. These are really cool looking. There's so many of these weird ungulates that are all over the globe. Love this thing. Go ahead. You can turn the sound off. There's really nothing there. Just
it is a
look
weird
at
looking
it.
animal. It's an
Just
ungulate,
look
huh?
at it.
Wow.
Yeah, just look at this thing.
It almost looks canine.
Yeah, it does. It's got kind of a doggy look to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's a Japanese sero. They are cool looking. Number 6, no sound is available. And this is, we've had this cold snap all over the country. They got Dale Boswell told me they had snow down in Alabama, Florida today because of this cold front that's gone through. And a lot of people, a lot of animals haven't seen snow, and his cat was just staring at it out the window. But here we go. This is lions and their reaction to ice on a pond at a zoo. They're totally weirded out by it.
Yeah, they have no frame of reference for that whatsoever.
I like how they're just kind of, they look just like people that are confused, right?
Like, what the heck is going on?
Exactly. And then they have that. It's like, oh crap, I'm backing up. I don't care how fierce of a predator you are. Every predator is afraid of something, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty cool.
Everything is. All right. Clip 7. The sound is good. And this explains how starfish can kind of regen almost their entire body from like a single arm. They can regenerate their entire body. Go ahead and play it.
Starfish can regrow an entire body from just a single arm, making them one of nature's most extreme regeneration experts. If a starfish loses a limb, that arm can slowly rebuild vital organs, a nervous system, and even a new central body. This ability helps them survive attacks that would be fatal to most
What I
animals.
wonder, Jeff, is why so many
In some
starfish wash
species,
up on beaches.
one arm isn't just a lifeline. It's the beginning of a completely new starfish.
That's crazy.
They can
Yeah,
do this
it
because
is.
their bodies are filled with specialized stem-like cells that can transform into any tissue needed and follow genetic instructions to rebuild the entire organism.
There you go.
That's wild.
And I'm sure they're doing research and exactly how they do it.
They
I would imagine
have been for a long
tons
time.
of labs, that are trying to figure this out. Because at some point, I would expect maybe even in our lifetimes, Jeff, they're going to have some therapy where people can rebuild an arm that's lost by injections with some type of specialized stem cells.
I mean, our DNA has instructions on how to make it. We just
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Number 8. The sound is good. Not everything is what you think. Okay, just leave it right there. That looks like what? A shoe.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a leg and a shoe. All right, go ahead and play it. That's good. We got the idea.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
It's just, and that happens so many times in nature too. We have to be very aware that things in the woods can, if they're not moving, can look like something. And I so often see photos from people where they've, taken a still or whatever, and they got stuff circled because if it was moving video, we'd all be much more interested in it because if it's still, it could just be the angle.
Right.
And all sorts of other factors, the way light is playing on it. I've seen a million things that look like Bigfoots in the forest, but I know they're burnt stubs or lightning hits or, because there's a lot of black stuff in the forest. A tree overturns and you get soil on the bottom of it and you see it in the right light and the right angle. And you'd swear to God it's a Bigfoot staring at you, but it ain't.
Yeah.
And so the idea is if you see something like that, go walk around, go towards it. Don't just, actually walk towards it and you'll go, oh, okay. Generally. And if it walks away, well, now you can get your money shot, right? Because we do need that movement. Okay. Clip 9, sound is good. And I'm just, I played something with this woman before, but this is still amazing that she can do this with her eyes. Go ahead.
This. Oh my God! Holy shit! Good. 1, 2, do it. What the what? No. Trigger, where are you going?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
That's so amazing. All right. Clip 10. We're almost done with clips. Sound is good. There is, this is really interesting. A lot of people don't know this, but there is a lot, we have the Great Lakes, Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, blah, 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 blah. But that line of Great Lakes extends way into Canada, way into Northwest Territories. And I've been to many of these other Great Lakes. Go ahead and play this. This is super fascinating.
Everyone thinks the Great Lakes are just 5 lakes, but that's not even close to the full story. Zoom out and you'll see something wild. The Great Lakes are only a small piece of a massive freshwater chain stretching thousands of miles into Canada. And even stranger, these lakes line up in an almost perfectly straight line, separating land packed with lakes from land with almost none. That's not coincidence. This line marks the edge of the Canadian Shield, one of the oldest pieces of rock on Earth. While softer land to the south eroded into flat plains, this hard rock got scraped and gouged by gigantic glaciers during the ice ages. As the ice moved, it carved cracks and pits into the rock. When the glaciers melted, water rushed in and got trapped, creating hundreds of thousands of lakes. And because the shield sits higher than the surrounding land, massive lakes formed right along its edge. Those lakes? The Great Lakes. Not random, not accidental, just Earth's history written in water.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
And I've been to like Great Slave Lake and beyond. I've explored many, many of those giant lakes because they have giant trout in them.
Mm-hmm.
Giant lake trout. Okay, what do we have? Last one. Oh, this is just a kind of a fun. Somebody did a compilation. I'm sure it's AI. Did a compilation of kind of dad jokes in a newscast format. It's witty. Go ahead, play it.
Sadly, the inventor of the throat lozenge has died. There will be no coffin at his funeral. Biologists have crossed a watermelon with a cauliflower. People who eat the new variety experience a sense of sadness known as melancholy. An influencer named Mr. Information has filed for divorce. He says it's because so many people were spreading misinformation. A good wife will always be by your side during bad times, mostly to remind you that none of this would have happened if you had just listened to her. A truck loaded with Vicks Vapo Rub overturned on the highway. Amazingly, there was no congestion for 8 hours. Researchers have discovered that keeping tropical fish at home can have a calming effect on the brain. They say it's due to all the endorphins. An Irish man was rescued from a burning bar. When asked how the fire started, he said, "Beats me. It was burning when I got here." When your wife says, "Correct me if I'm wrong," do not, under any circumstances, correct her. Sadly, the inventor of the throat lozenge has...
All right.
I love the first one.
Yeah, those are all pretty good.
The coffin. Yeah, that's pretty witty. All right, that's it. I think that's
all we got. Yep.
And I think we are ready for our guest if he's ready.
Yeah.
Are you? Is his audio going?
I believe so.
Okay, sounds good.
So let's run this quick. All right.
All right. And Todd was born in Martinsville, Indiana. He joined the Army in 1986 and spent a lot of years in the Army and got out in 2006. That's a long stretch.
Full career.
Yeah, he's lived in Missouri for the last 20 years, deep in the Missouri Ozarks, and has had a Bigfoot encounter, maybe more. I don't really know. I don't know Todd yet. I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's go ahead and bring Todd on.
Welcome, Todd.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, there he is.
Hey, I can see some eyes on. You got glasses on? There they are.
A
little bit of eye shine.
Spectacles on. Actually, you can probably look at him. Look at some Bigfoot.
Anyhow, that's good. Just stay close to your audio so we can pick up everything you're saying. So anyhow, thank you for your service, Todd. That's a lot of years of devotion.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. So okay. So you moved to Missouri in the Ozarks area. When did you get interested in Bigfoot?
Oh, there you go. So so thanks for having me on. All of your all the things you had going on there earlier, I can relate to a lot of them. You were talking about the how cold it was. I spent 4 years in Alaska, and one of the coldest times in record were when I was in the military. We got called in from the field. It was 90 below.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Yeah, very, very, very cold. But anyways, I'm from Martinsville, Indiana. I joined the military in 1986. I retired in 2006. I was Army combat medic. I did a few deployments to Kosovo and Bosnia, and most of the time I spent at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and a lot of the bases around the world. But I've been around. But I retired out of Fort Leavenworth, and spent my time making my way back to where my wife is from in Brookfield, Missouri. And we ended up down here in the Ozarks in 2023 in July. We moved down here thinking that we were going to come down here and do some homesteading. And we never got that far. We got an RV and got it set up out here in the middle of nowhere with a lot of other properties that people buy that are 10, 15 acres. There's quite a few people out here, but we're about 6 or 7 miles outside of Eminence, Missouri, if you know where that is. I started. I didn't have any problems with the property or anything while I was here in July. From July until September. September 7th is when all this stuff kicked off. I'm in my RV. If you don't mind, I'll just jump right into it.
Yeah, get into it, man.
Yeah. This is my second time telling this story like this, so I'm a little bit nervous. I had a stroke about 4 years ago, so you gotta give me a little, and I might get off track, so keep me on track.
Okay.
So anyways, September 7th, probably about 4:30 in the morning, I hear dogs outside barking pretty heavy, and I'm getting my morning coffee, and I usually and go out and walk around 6 o'clock and walk for about 2 or 3 miles in the morning just to get exercise. So I'm up and around, and just like a lot of people are out in the middle of nowhere, and you don't have anything else better to do but get up early in the morning and get things going. And I'm hearing these dogs going nuts. He's right over here on the next property where I'm at, and I step outside. My dogs aren't even. I don't know why my dogs aren't barking. I've got like 7 or 8 dachshunds, and me and my wife have those in the house. But anyways, I hear this howl. It sounds like a long, steady siren of a howl. And I stay out there, and just to make a long story short on this, it's one howl, and then I for some odd reason I start whooping back, and then before I go back in, I hear another howl. So that happened that day. The next day I was invited to a birthday party, and the people who lived next to me on the next property over, the dogs that were barking, and they said they were telling the story at the party, and I was like listening to them. I hadn't told them what I heard yet, but whenever I heard that, I went over and talked to them, and I was like, "Hey, you guys heard something last night too?" And they said, "Yeah, we heard the howls." I said, "Yeah." I said, "What do you think that is?" And they said, "We don't know. It's it sounds really weird. We've never heard that before." But anyways, they were, normal outdoor folks. They got their guns out, ready for anything that comes. That's why a lot of them carry a lot of guns and a lot of dogs. That we had a little conversation there, and then everybody kind of split up and went their own way. I had a lot of things going on, and I had a lot of things written down, and from September until about February, till about February, I had a lot of things going on, but it seemed like September was a heightened moment for me, because that next morning, actually, around the same time, I went out and thought I could, I thought I could hear something out there, by whooping around. But I did capture a small whistle with a couple of tree snaps. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so I went back in, and it just kind of things keep happening. So on the 9th, at about 7 o'clock, and I'm sorry, you guys don't even have the video. I've got a 54-second video of some of the pictures that you have.
Well, can I interrupt you, Todd, just for a second? I would love you to set the stage. When you say, this stuff's going on your property, first off, that's scary because you can't leave. But two, can you kind of describe your property and what it's kind of surrounded by?
Yeah. So I was sitting on about 33 acres of property just south of the Jacks Fork River. There was probably I'd say probably about 3,000 or 4,000 acres just to the north of me, so it's wide open. So I didn't have a lot of people around me. I was kind of all the way up to the top of the property where I was located at. You know what I'm saying? It's all wooded.
Yep.
So I'm out in the middle of this place where, I'm walking around getting all these different things going on. And one morning I'm up and I'm walking along the path that I usually take, and I hear a lot of animals off to my left. I hear it's probably about 6:45 or so. I'm hearing some coyotes, and I'm hearing some an owl. I'm hearing some squirrels. I'm hearing some crows going off, and I used to have a video and I don't have it anymore. I kicked myself in the butt because whenever it all first started and it all happened, I was just going through all these videos. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I happened to delete the first video I had, but I had a tree knock on that video. But all of those animals stopped all of a sudden, and I'm scanning the left side of this road, and I see this image, the image that you guys have right there. And I turn my phone on, and for 54 seconds, I'm taking this video, and it is sitting pretty still, and you've got some bugs going. A lot of people say that bugs stop whenever the predators are around, but that doesn't mean anything because because of the other video that I made. But anyways, I thought I'd seen it move toward the end of the video, but I would have to actually at some point in time get that to you guys so you can see it, because I wasn't able to upload it because it's kind of difficult when you're going from an iPhone to the normal phone that I have. The iPhone doesn't have any service, so I have to hotspot on this other phone. Let me take a breath.
Sure. Yeah. It's no rush. Take your time.
Yeah, you get to talking, man. And you just you gotta feel at ease with the people that you're talking to, and that's it just gets kind of. I don't mean to ramble on. It's just that I've got so much stuff in my head that it's really hard to process.
No,
but,
just this is. I mean, it's a very safe spot.
Absolutely.
I just took a drink of coffee, so that's probably my. I'm singing out.
Take all the time you need, man.
So, anyways, so I took this video and I got a hold of the Department of Conservation, DNR, and that's where you guys have that message that I sent to the park ranger, and that's what they told me on there. They told me that that it looked like a bear or a Bigfoot. so I was pretty like, why would you tell me something like that if you didn't think it was real or didn't think that it was true, and they pretty much told me that they didn't want to talk about it anymore. I mean, there wasn't no big conspiracy or anything about me not doing anything, but they did send some guys up there whenever I was up visiting my family up in northern Missouri, and come to find out that I talked to a couple of the guys that are rangers in that area that patrol that area, and they said they were never up there, but there was evidently like 3 ATVs and a couple of trucks that came up there where they said they don't roll out like that. And the funny thing about it is all this stuff that I'm telling you, I have no desire, and I'm sorry I had to correct you. I'm not a researcher whatsoever. I don't research Bigfoot or anything. It's just an encounter that I had, and everybody, everybody's had the big. I grew up. I born in '66. All the Bigfoot, Legend of Bogey Creek, Patterson films. I seen all that stuff when I was like 7 or 8 years old. So. We always thought it was real, we always thought Bigfoot was real in the Pacific Northwest, and the cattle mutilations that they used to have. I thought that was real too whenever we were kids, because they would always put on the news, But anyways, you guys have got a 15-second. I think you guys have a 15-second audio of a growl that I picked up that had a couple of tree snaps and a huffing away from where I was at, and it was going down the hallway toward this other property down there. And you hear these other guys going off, and there's a shotgun blast at like 4:30 in the morning, and this thing comes rolling back up to where I'm at, and I'm down on the ground with my phone trying to keep it from going, trying to keep the light from turning on. And this thing stops all of a sudden, and then you hear this Mars. I call it a Mars bar. It's a candy bar wrapper, is what it sounds like, and it's just sitting there, just crackling, next to me. And then I wait, and I go inside, and I look back on that time when I went inside the RV. I had this really weird child giggle. It's kind of like that giggle when you get like a chill in your body, and you're like, you kind of throw a giggle out there that you never hardly ever do. But I heard it on my video. I was like, it sounded like I was, it sounded like I was possessed, but I wasn't. But it was just a giggle that I wasn't familiar with because, and they said that people giggle like that whenever they have a some sort of a nervous situation that's going on, and you don't know how to handle it, so you just kind of laugh at it, and it's kind of a Joker giggle or something.
Okay, so where are you when you hear this giggle?
Oh, that was me. That was it was on an audio that I had. I have audio of all this stuff.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you heard this. It was.
I heard myself do that whenever I went back into the RV, and I had my phone with me. I still had it on when I went in the thing. Whenever I go back to listen to it, you can hear me get weird, But yeah, man, I'm just trying to make everybody aware of what's going on out there. I mean, really, I'm not trying to find anything out. Everything's. I mean, it's really kind of weird, man. Everything kind of finds people that I don't even know. I can't even explain it. I've seen orbs, and I've seen well, I don't even, if you notice my thing, it says Boardman Holler Monster, because I don't know if it was a Bigfoot that I saw. I did some analysis on the audio, and it states that it could be wolf. It said that the growl was at a decimal in between, I think it was in between 45 and 100 hertz, which is pretty low. And yeah, it didn't say anything about Bigfoot, it just said, hey, it was possible canine, but it was pretty impressive to me, because it's like you guys probably are you guys able to play that video? I mean, that audio, that 15-second audio that you have, Doug?
Yeah, I didn't send anything to Jeff.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
I presumed you guys were going to talk and get all that done.
That's you have the things on your messenger that I sent you a while back.
Right.
I kind of talked to you.
I might be able to pull something up.
I think it's like the very first video that I sent you. It's like 15 seconds. It just gives you a little sample of the growl and the huffing away and the tree snaps, and then there's some pictures.
I was just going to say, Todd, your audio is kind of going in and out. I don't know what you're doing when it gets good, but maybe you're holding it closer, your phone. But we'd love to get a little bit better audio from you.
I think we lost. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, that's probably pretty good. Sorry. See, I'm starting to come.
Oh, we're good now.
A lot easier for me to talk to you.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, so how long have you lived there? First off,
okay, so I moved here in July of 2023.
Okay,
and I moved away from there in April of 2024. I mean, like 8 or 9 months later, and I'm moving out, to a more flat area down here in the lowlands, if you will. I'm not up in that area no more, and it's not because of anything that was going on up there. I just had a lot of things going on. It's kind of like the Wild Wild West out here. You get guns pulled on you, so you have to move out, and save your family so nobody gets hurt,
Yeah. So are you aware of sightings near your property?
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, if you go on to BFRO, you got sightings in Eminence, Missouri. You got sightings in Winona, Missouri, that were I guess that were substantiated. You've got I'm trying to think if there's some up in Salem. So the blue man is up from in Salem area, I believe. You got Douglas County over here, the Booger County. They call it Booger County because there's so many Sasquatch sightings over there, I guess.
Yeah.
But okay. I'm actually in Shannon County, Missouri, which is the second largest county in Missouri, and by population, it's the smallest by capita. And the state of Missouri is covered by, I wanted to say it was covered like 20 or 30% woods, and the Ozarks are like 9%. by 90% was. So not that that means anything to me, because I think that you can see. I think Bigfoots are all over the place. You don't have to be out in the middle of nowhere to see anything. It just gives me like that, you know.
Todd, do you have water near your property? Where's the nearest water?
The nearest water is it's not man-made. It's a spring-fed river just north of me. It was probably about 2.5 miles, 3 miles north of me. It was called the Jack's Fork. It rolls into the current river in Missouri. A lot of people float those rivers, you know, because they're so pristine. They don't have any man-made you know, power plants or anything on them. It's just all it was for the spring-fed mills around the area, you know.
And do you have any creeks or any little ponds on your property, or running through it or near it?
Property. The place that was north of me was where I walked at a lot, and that was all DNR, the Missouri Scenic Riverway guys. There's like 2 or 3 different conservation areas, U.S. Forest Services. I mean, excuse me. But yeah, it's just there's no that's the only water they have, unless some of the dry creeks that we have water in them. I mean, there are a lot of caves. That's what I was looking at just north. I mean, I was going around looking for caves and stuff, you know, with like coyotes and things like that. But they got a lot of bats and stuff up there that they go into. They told me I needed to keep my property open so that they could drive their Batmobile up in there, so that they could do a lot of research on bats up in the cave systems that they got up there. But you know, you had to actually go through my property to get there, and they told me that I couldn't close the road off because they needed to have access to all that road up there. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so you have a lot of caves near you. Okay, so have you had any like bangs on the side? Are you living in like an RV type situation?
Yep, I'm still in an RV. Yeah, I was in an RV up there. Yeah, I know I didn't have any bangs. Of course, we had some bear sightings and stuff up here, and there was some mountain lions. I think that was killed. There's a lot of weird stuff going on up there, man. I said there's an orb that keeps going over the top of the tree line that moves up and down into the trees and goes back up. But Starlink, whenever Starlink kicked off, everybody thought that was a UFO. That was pretty cool to see it disappear and everything, you know. But it was pretty wild watching the string of those Elon stuff going through the sky and it just disappeared. I was like, oh my gosh, I seen a UFO. Whatever, you know.
Interesting. But, okay. Well, let's get back to some of the activity. Just keep talking. I don't know what's happening. We haven't had a chance to do it.
So when I first got to the property up there, shotgun shells everywhere. So one of the guys that I was talking to said that the guy was always up there shooting his shotgun off. And I'm like, well, why is this guy shooting so many shotguns? So I was like walking around, you know, once again on the property and everything, and I found up into the conservation area, I found what's called a boneyard. You know what a boneyard is? It's like a place where they use like a big pit to throw all the dead carcasses in, so that the predators will come around to there. You know, the park animals that are like, you know, wolves or cats or whatever, bears or whatever, will come around to that area and pick on all the animals that are dead, you know.
Yeah. So how many bones are in this boneyard, Todd?
Well, I found at least 10 when I was there. I've got pictures of all this stuff. I'm sorry that I didn't get with you guys on this before. Maybe I can come on another time and show you some of this stuff, because you actually well, you guys have it. It's just a matter of you know, looking at it. But yeah, a lot of bones, man. They were mostly, believe it or not, mostly dogs. Mostly dogs.
That's weird. That's really weird.
People lost a lot of dogs up there, man. Whenever I was asking, when I was up there, I was just asking questions about, hey, have you seen a mountain lion, or have you seen a wolf, or whatever? You know, a lot of people are seeing a lot of different things that aren't supposed to be in that area. You know, there wasn't no Black Panthers or anything like that, but there was definitely a possible, you know, wolf and a possible mountain lion that we seen up there, and of course bear. You know, they're always around. But yeah, it's wild. I had that one video that I took there, and then whenever I got ready to leave out of there, I had seen a lot of footprints, taking pictures of footprints. I've had trees pushed over in front of the paths that I take, and you know, I mean, I take these paths every day back and forth from my house to up to that river and then back. But I had tree snaps. I've had trees snapped off, and I've noticed that they've been snapped off when I went by them. Oh man, I mean, and the thing about it is nobody ever went up there. See, that's what I guess people need to understand, that when you're out there, and it's not like where you guys at, aren't you? You're up north, aren't you, Doug?
Yes. Yeah.
We're in Minnesota.
We're up north.
When you say 30 miles outside of town, that's a lot different than, you know, 5 or 6 miles, but it's still out there in the middle of nowhere where there ain't no lights and there ain't, you know, there's not a lot of people. But yeah, man, it's just it was just really wild. I mean, and I got away from all that, see, down in lands, and I don't have anything like that going on with me down here. I just try to keep my head down, and I've got a buddy that I talked to over here in Mountain Grove. He's got some stuff going on in his property where, you know, he thought he's seen a Bigfoot. I'm not saying he thought. He said he saw a Bigfoot peeking up out of the ground out of a hole. You know, that'd be scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the top of the log, and yeah, he's the guy. But I got with him first. So he's the closest guy here to me, man. I was wanting him to sketch what I seen, but because I already had a video and everything, you could actually make out the outline of the thing, but I really couldn't see a face. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can you describe your actual visual encounter?
Yeah. Okay, so I looked. So it was 7 o'clock, about 7 o'clock in the morning. It just got light out, and I was drinking coffee and walking along the road. And like I said, I was trying to be quiet actually. And I pulled out because I seen that, and I said, no, there's no way I'm going to get this. And I pulled it up and I hit it, and it was about 75 yards away. And I don't even know if it was a huge Bigfoot or not. I'm thinking in my mind, after I seen it, after everything I seen, was that it was a small juvenile that was actually hanging onto a tree, not so much standing up. Because when I went down there where he was sitting at, it was like 10, 11 feet up in the air anyways, but there was a tree that was right behind him that I thought maybe he might have been hanging off of, but it was just a black silhouette, man. I mean, it was just a black silhouette, and it wasn't moving. And I acknowledged that on the thing. I said, you know, I just said, if you listen to the way, but I said, you know, I can't see it, but I seen the silhouette. I just couldn't see the face or anything, but I thought I seen it move right whenever I was about ready. And thankful that about 3 or 4 seconds before I stopped filming that it did that. And it looked like it turned its head somehow, but yeah, it just wasn't, I just couldn't tell. It just had that Bigfoot silhouette. And like you said earlier, you know, it could have been something, but I didn't walk toward it because I didn't have a gun on me or anything else. I usually carry a gun like the last guy. I've got a gun on me now, you know. Yeah, I didn't walk toward it. I guess I wasn't a very brave person to do that, you know.
I don't blame you. So what do you think these things are, Todd? What do you guess?
Okay, so I'm a Christian, and I've had a lot of different conversations with people. And you know what? I at first I would have told you that these were blood and gut animals, and we were looking for, you know, a lost animal that was possibly hasn't been found yet. So, but you know, over time, watching different stuff and listening to different people about things, I truly believe that I believe that they move in between something in between time and space or something. I don't know how they jump in and out. I don't know how they disappear, how they glamour out and all that other stuff. But there's a lot of people that have seen some pretty wild stuff. If you've ever seen the predator look on some of the people that have seen it in the woods, I believe that there was either a gentleman that was standing. He was in his tree stand or something like that. And there was like a bunch of kids over in a football field or something like that seen something like that going on. I don't know if you guys know anything about that.
No, not familiar with that.
School with kids that seen a glimmer, kind of like a glimmer man going across the field or something like that. It's pretty wild.
So you've seen orbs on your property?
I seen orbs in the back of my buddy's property, looking out over the hollers that we down here and over into the tree ridge, the ridge line over across on the other ridge line on top of the trees, not at the bottom of the trees on the ground, but on top. It was going straight across the top, and then it would go down into the trees for maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds, and then it would come right straight back up, and it would either go back the other way or keep going the other way, and then it would do it again, go down. And there's nothing over there that does any type of mining or anything like that. I mean, the only thing out here is people living, trying to get by, and that's about it. It's all wooded property, and there's no what do you call it? There's no street or any type of road or anything over on that ridge line. It's kind of wild, man. I mean, I've even put it out there to people, and I, like I said, I have no desire to be famous or do anything like that. But I mean, if anybody want to come down here and take a ride up there to where I'm at, drop by my property, man. We can go up there. One guy said, yeah, we can go up there with no guns and only cameras or something like that. And I said, no, dude, I don't go anywhere without my gun now. If you're coming up to my property, if you're coming up here to do what we're going to do, I'm going to take you up there and let you see what it is that I seen or what it is you want to see. And, I'm not walking back in there. I sent you guys have got it's all done. I'm sorry. It got all sent to Doug. I'm sorry, Jeff. I was going to ask you beforehand about if you wanted anything else, but, I'm trying to find out. There was a track that I found on the side of the ridge down by the caves, and that was a real good track that I picked up. But I didn't stick around to try to. I didn't have any casting material or anything like that. I just took a picture of it and then left out because I didn't want to see what made that track, because that thing's huge.
Have you gone into any of these caves, Todd?
Yes. Yeah, there's a few caves you can actually drive. You can almost drive your car into. Out in the middle of nowhere. Matter of fact, I found a staircase made out of stones stacked next to each other, and then they got pathways, one going down to the left and one going down to the right. I mean, just out in the middle of nowhere. It probably used to be a house or something where somebody stayed at, but
just a staircase, only a staircase.
Well, it's not it looked like it was a wall that you actually would walk down, and then if you went, you could go to the left or to the right, or it could have been a waterway where water was like water ducts or something going down there, because it was actually pretty cool. But yeah, man, I don't know. I wanted to tell my story because I hear all this. I really, tell you the truth, man, I hear all these other guys on the internet, and I'm like, those guys, those stories right there, those people have seen something, and I've seen something, and the world needs to know that there's a revelation. Revelation means unveiling, and I think that what's going on right now is we're actually living in a time when I'm not saying that there's a bunch of cryptids out there running around, but I mean, yeah, there has to be, if we're sitting there talking about Bigfoot and talking about Dogman and all this other stuff. So it's just amazing of all the encounters that people are coming up with.
Yeah, it is. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, have you done some stuff up in Alaska, Doug?
Not in Alaska for research, but My first experience was up in Northwest Territories.
Okay. Have you ever been have you ever been out by St. Lawrence Island?
No.
I spent 3 months up there in the military when I was out there.
Oh, wow.
With the communication. Yeah, it was during the. It was right. But see, here's the weird thing about this, man. I went up to Alaska in '86. I spent all the way till '90, and I've had more things happen to me in Alaska than I've had in my whole entire life happen to me. I mean, we had a C-130 go down that lost a bunch of guys, a bunch of Canadians back in 88, 89 that during the Brim Frost, whenever we got pulled out of the field because it was so cold outside. But I mean, we had an officer that ended up going missing on a land nav course. The only thing we found of was his weapon sitting up against a tree. You know, so what happened is so after I went to, well, I'm not gonna get too deep into this, but we did.
You can. So the guy went missing.
Are you okay with this?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. I just arrived in Alaska in 1986. It was around October, and that December we did a Brim Frost. It's just a collection of training that we do with different agents and stuff like that. Anyways, me and another gentleman got picked to go to St. Lawrence Island, which is in the Bering Strait. And I was like, at the time, I didn't know what was going on. You know, I didn't know what it was. I was a brand new medic. You know, didn't know any better. But the guy who picked me was pretty confident in my skills to helping him out. And he was a Special Forces PA, physician's assistant. Anyways, we went up there with like 20 other guys. To make a long story short on all this, so I don't have to get too deep into this because I really can't. We were responsible for patrolling the island because the native I think it was the Athabascan that are up there. It's you've got to Savunda and you have Gamble, Alaska, and there was a problem with strange aircraft and things that they couldn't catch with snowmobiles. So they sent us up there, and we drove our snowmobiles all the way from Gamble all the way up to the north side of this island where they had this Air Force radio listening station that they wanted us to go in and check out. And it was really like a story from what's the one with what's his name, Kurt Russell, The Thing. You remember The Thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're going up here into this thing, and this thing's, you know, this aircraft, this Air Force post Russia was closed, and they were trying to figure out what they were going to do to close it down because there was some issues with the oil and stuff like that. But anyways, to make a long story short, that mission turned into a real world mission, and we were told that we were going to be doing some long range reconnaissance, and we were going to be doing some listening stuff. We had some pretty sophisticated commo equipment at the time, and so we were dealing with Russia doing a lot of if you call them, I don't say scraping missions, but missions from aircraft, kind of like dogfighting with the guys in Alaska. You know, I don't know if you remember that. It was back in the late '80s that all that was going on. But anyways, all the stuff that was going on with all these missing people, Alaska started doing in 1988 is when they started keeping track of the people that were missing up in the Alaskan Triangle. You know what I'm talking about? The Alaskan Triangles is where a lot of people end up missing. 16,000 people have came up missing since 1988.
Wow.
In Alaska alone. And that all started after all this stuff was going on while we were up there, but it all ended up being, you know, Russian guys were coming over and coming up on the beach, and they were finding the reason why was because there was torn uniforms and radio equipment and stuff like that, like 2 miles inland from the ocean. And they thought that the Russians had actually came in to do patrols, but in reality, what they were thinking was that something else was taking the Russian soldiers, and they couldn't figure out what it was. These aircraft were flying around the Bering Strait, and we were there to monitor all that, you know.
Wow.
So there wasn't no disclosed, you know, but if you wanted to check into it, you'd have to go to 1988, people missing. And then they did a Pentagon briefing to the AP Works and the New York Times and all that. But I mean, as far as like paranormal stuff goes, I mean, I've had a lot of different things happen to me, man. I mean, I've had that was the first that was kind of the first thing that happened to me when I was in the military, but nothing ever happened to me pretty much after that until I hit Colorado, when I was at Fort Carson, Colorado, and I saw what I thought was a ghost out in the back when I was smoking a cigarette with the guy, and they closed the military guys were closing down at 9 o'clock, and they told us we had to be in because I was down there for school. And I seen this guy or this whatever this was walking behind the tree. And I was like telling him, say, hey, they're about ready to close this door over here. You know, we got to get in. And he never came out on the other side of that tree. And I was got kind of scared. I went back and tried to get in the door, and the door was locked because these guys were, cleaning up the floors and stuff for the next day, you know, with the shining the floors and things. So they really couldn't hear me out there beating on the door with this thing going on. But yeah, man.
What did you see?
I seen what I thought was a person. You know, I thought it was one of the guys that were with. So if you've ever heard of Fort Carson, there used to be a hospital there way back in the 80s. That was it was a hospital that was spread out over like 2 or 3 miles. So in order to get people to their appointments inside the hospital, they would take them on a bike, and they would wheel them all the way to the surgery or whatever, you know, on the gurney, you know, with a bicycle. That's how many there were in this building that I was actually in for a primary leadership development course that E4s need to take before they make NCOs. And yeah, I was. It was just so. It was kind of scary because I finally figured out where my room was located at, up on the second floor down that one corridor there, looking straight down on on where this table was at, where I was smoking this cigarette, was where the morgue was at, where this dumpster was located at, was where the morgue was at. You know, that's where everybody was processed whenever they came to that hospital. You know, so I don't know what that's what I saw, and then just the feeling of being watched when I was in this place by myself. I was on the phone with my wife back she was in Aurora, Colorado. She was pregnant at the time, and I was on a payphone. I was the only person left. Everybody else got to go home. Everybody got to go home for the weekend. Well, I had to stay there because I was 75, 80 miles away in Denver, and couldn't get home because I didn't have a car. So I was talking to my wife, and of course there's that big, long, dark hallway looking down through that hallway. And, you know, you're like, I just told my wife I had to get off the phone because I really ran up to my room and got in my room and locked the door. You know, here I am, a stinking soldier, acting like a little kid.
Yeah, well, the paranormal will do that to all of us.
It's scary when doing something like that, dude. And then 2018 is actually my first Bigfoot sighting. I was going up, 63 highway goes all the way from where I'm at down here in the Ozarks all the way up into Iowa, up to a point, and I'm going to Kirksville, Missouri for a VA appointment at the clinic. I had to get my blood drawn that morning. It was about 7 o'clock, man, and it was for some odd reason it was in October of 2018, and it was really the weather outside was raining. It was freezing rain for some odd reason, and it was really, really slick on the road. So I had to take it easy going. I was about 30 miles away from where I was living at, and I was driving up this Highway 63 in my truck, and I'm doing about 20 miles an hour. I'm not going very fast because it's to the where you got the median at in the middle of the road. You got that big ditch. Well, I look up there and I thought I see a big roll of like really, really light tan carpet, rolled up into a big roll on the side of the road. And I'm like, who would put a roll of carpet there like that? And I'm probably about 100, maybe 100 yards or so. And I get up close to it, and it's this creature sitting on its knees about 3 or 4 feet down into the ditch, gnawing on something like pretty hard but I didn't stop. I mean, I kept rolling it. Like I didn't move. I just kept rolling, but I kept looking to see if I could see its face. Never could see its face, but I know it was huge. Have you ever seen everybody's seen the movie Monsters, Inc., right? Yeah. So it reminded me of the bulk of Sully on Monsters, Inc. You know what I'm talking about?
Really?
Yeah.
Sully, right? He's like the guy that goes around scaring everybody. He's like the superstar of Monsters. But it was like that big. And one thing that really I noticed was the bottom of the feet, because it was sitting on its hands and knees doing that. Its feet were actually sticking up toward the road, and I just noticed that its feet were like, it had that bare feet look, and it was just a Bigfoot, dude. It was huge.
Okay, but it looked. What color was the skin, Todd?
It was blonde.
Kind of a blonde looking. Okay, that's interesting.
Really, really light tannish color.
Well, what did this thing do? Okay, so get into some details. You're driving towards it. How close are you when you see it move?
I was on one side. I was on the right side of the road. So when I went past it, it was like I said, it was one lane over, and then of course about 3 or 4 feet down into the ditch, facing down into the ditch. So its feet were actually, when you get down on your hands and knees and you like eat something like a dog off the street,
Yep.
It was either gnawing on something. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a deer or some type of animal or whatever. But I went down the road a little ways and tried to find a place to turn around. I couldn't turn around anywhere before I had to actually take a right to get off and get down into the city so I could get to my VA appointment. But when I came back, there wasn't nothing. I mean, there wasn't anything there. I actually pulled over and actually called the cops to see if there had been any reports of any strange animal on the road, eating anything on the road, And
so was it blonde, kind of a blonde look?
Blonde. It was huge. It was huge. I mean, it was probably. I'm 6'2". I'm 60. I've been up to 250. But I mean, this thing, I probably couldn't. I mean, I could probably stretch my arms out, and that's probably about how wide that thing was. It was just that big. I mean, a lot of people describe the different things, but yeah, this thing was real, man. I wasn't going to stop. I didn't feel any fear whatsoever, just by virtue of being in. I mean, I had a big truck. It was a Dodge 2500 or something. It wasn't no big deal. But I surely didn't want to wreck and be pulled out of that thing, and it ended up being a statistic for some reason. Missing 411 or something.
Okay, so this thing had like blonde hair with light color.
The hair was about 3 or 4 inches long. It wasn't too, like real hairy or anything it didn't have hair over its face or anything like that. I mean, I just couldn't see the face because I was, like I said, I was looking back. It was raining. It was almost like a sleet. It was really slick outside on the road for some reason. But I looked back. I couldn't really see anything on, at the side of it at all. But I know that it was big once I went past it. It was just huge, dude.
I know, but what color was the hair on it?
That was blonde.
Blonde. Okay, so light white.
Yeah, it wasn't white. It was just blonde.
Kind of a sandy colored, or
Yeah, like a sand color. Yeah, because I thought it was like that really nasty tan carpet you get whenever you get
Right.
into that.
Yeah. That's really interesting. And this was in the evening or at night or during the
About
day
7
because you had an appointment.
Yeah, it was about 7 o'clock. It was just a little after 7 o'clock because I had to be at the VA to get my blood drawn.
That's a pretty interesting encounter. Did it ever move out of the way or run across the road or just stayed?
Mac, I mean, it was moving. I mean, it was gnawing on whatever it was gnawing. I seen its head moving and its arms and everything, but they were everything just exaggerated. I mean, just bulky, huge, but it didn't act like it was scared. Didn't act like it was worried about what I was doing.
It just didn't care. It didn't care who saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care what I was doing, and it had like I said, it was in October, so it had probably been there for a little while, and it was actually probably just turning from dark until till it was till daylight. It was kind of like in between there, I would believe, and it probably just didn't even think about what was going on. I mean, I know it's kind of crazy, but I've never seen anything crazy like them disappearing or doing anything different other than sitting there looking at me on the side of the path, and then I start the thing that I was saying is that I just had too many things going on that were coincidences that I was trying to I was really trying to attribute it to something that wasn't paranormal and wasn't Bigfoot, and it just kept stacking up, man. It just people were telling me around the area that they were seeing different things, and I was saying, yeah, man, I got this footprint that I just found. I got these knuckle prints that I've got over here. I've got tree branches trees that are snapped off at 6-7 feet tall, just straight breaks. That's not something that you see every day when you walk past an area. The same time, you notice those things that are different about your path that you take every day, and that's exactly what happened to me. I came past, whenever I found that tree knocked down that one day, was the same day that I saw a track that had stepped on the road or the path that I was on, and it had sunk probably 7 or 8 inches deep, and I thought, and I really thought that it was something that needed to be looked at. But the thing about it was it was raining outside so bad, and I was like, man, if I can't get back here, I'm not going to be able to get it. And when I got back there, it was just a mud hole.
Well, what other things have you seen?
What else do you want? Okay, hold on, let me see. Okay, this is something that my wife will get on to me about, because she's like, she doesn't believe. It's kind of funny that she doesn't believe in any of these things, because she's the only one here with me, so she sees me taking all these different photos and audio and everything, and I'm like, you've got to believe, because all this, look what I just got out here. And but anyways, so I retired out of Fort Leavenworth. I used to work at Fort Leavenworth, and I was going there. I might have been retired at the time. I can't even tell you what day it was, but I was going over the bridge and going west across the bridge to Fort Leavenworth. I noticed a large, like 6 foot tall bird or something perched up in a tree, hanging over the river of Mississippi River. I mean the Missouri River. And I said, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" I said, "Did you see the size of that bird?" And she's like, "No, I didn't see that." So I went all the way down to the other side of the bridge and got down and turned around at the campground right there next to the river, if anybody knows where that is, and came back. And of course, whatever it was gone. But I mean, it was definitely, I'm not saying that it was Mothman, but it was a huge bird, man. I mean, it wasn't a pterodactyl looking bird. It was like a regular size bird. And, of course you can overreact by seeing, different size birds. There's, eagles. We have eagles over there, and but I didn't think that it was an eagle because I know what eagles look. It's kind of funny. Everybody's like, yeah, you know what, how big they are. You know, of course they're huge, but not so 6 foot, man. This thing was huge, and it wasn't like it was like specifically like just a perfect bird. It was something that was kind of off about it. And that's the reason why I'm the guy that can look off to the right or the left or right and tell you, oh, look, a deer, you know, at 65 miles an hour. Oh, look, there's a rabbit, you know.
Yeah,
I'm the guy that's picking out stuff on the side of the road, and you know,
you're aware of your surroundings.
And of course, it just seems like
well, you just can't tell us you saw a 6 foot and then just leave it at that.
I can't tell you anything. I can't tell you anything other than the fact that I just.
What color? What color?
It was a black.
Black.
It was a black. Okay. It was just a black, large-looking bird that was perched up on a big tree limb that was hanging out over the Missouri River. I think. Matter of fact, I think it's still there.
It wasn't it was not a vulture. You must have lots of vultures down there.
Yeah, it wasn't any of the vulture. It was just a huge, large black. It could have. I mean, it definitely could have been a black figure of some sort. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the. I know that the history around Fort Leavenworth is pretty. There's a lot of haunted things around Fort Leavenworth with all the different things going on around there. They've had Bigfoot. There was a MP that saw Bigfoot on the while he was out on his rounds one night at Fort Leavenworth back in the I think it was back in the 90s or in the 80s or something like that. And he was afraid to tell. Of course, he was afraid to put it in the log, you know, because whenever you do things like that in the military, you get kind of ostracized, if you will, you know, because you don't, you know, people think you're nuts. You know, you really, it's kind of like you can't get hurt and you can't be talking any of that crazy stuff. Yeah. You know.
Well, what did he see?
What's that?
What did this guy see? You said he saw Bigfoot. What?
I think he had saw. I think he had seen some footprints, and I think that he's seen a hairy. I think he's seen a hairy bipedal animal on the river when he would go down and do his rounds. Because at Fort Leavenworth, as an MP, you have to go to different places, or you have to go over to the Command and War College, which is a really, really huge building where officers trained to be, you know, leaders and stuff. And then you have to go around the Missouri River, and they've got some what do you call it? They've got some small places where you can go around and push buttons, you know, and they kind of tell you what was, you know, what was on the river. You know, they had like a little fort on the river and things like that. And it's just there's just Leavenworth's just it's just spry with you know, paranormal stuff at Fort Leavenworth. You know,
I've heard
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I get all the different stuff that everybody else gets. Like, you know, your wife, you think your wife's calling you in the other room and she's sleeping or she's not even there, you know? And I had my wife calling my name the other night whenever I was out here in the van where I'm at right now. And I'm like, she said, "Hey, Todd," you know, she yelled my name like that. And I could have swore it was her. And I got out and went in. She goes, "No, I was asleep," you know? I just think that there's different things that people are saying, you know, I don't think that anybody claims to be anything special. I just think that whatever's going on is, if you're seeing something that's paranormal or out of the ordinary or something like that, you know, I always say, see something, say something, you know, tell somebody about it. So somebody knows something about it. You know, there's always somebody out there that knows. I've actually been trying to get some of my audio looked at so somebody can actually what do you call it?
We'll do a spectrogram.
Yeah, spectrogram. You know, and kind of look at it and say, you know, because I mean, I was pretty impressed with the whole growl thing myself. The video was one thing, and then all the different pictures and stuff that I've got, they're all on my iPhone. I'd really like to send that to you guys, but
well, I've got a question. I want to talk about the you called it the Milky Way wrapper sound that you kept hearing.
Yeah, so it's So what happened was this thing. Okay, so here's what happened. It went down into the holler, right? Okay, so I went out. I heard these dogs barking up a storm, and then I heard this growl. Now the one now here, this is kind of funny. It's kind of funny that guy was talking about that, but I looked up the growl, and it was on pretty much almost the same frequency as a feline, as a jaguar or a black panther. You know what I mean? It goes growl, and then tree snap, and then it puffs away away from where I'm at, and it goes down into the holler, and it goes down to this holler. You hear the dogs down in the holler start going nuts. And what happened is this guy down there, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but he claimed that he didn't know what it was, but it was harassing. It had came down that hill and harassed his ducks or something that were in the pen down there, and he actually shot at it. That's what the whole shotgun blast was on this video. See, I didn't set this up very well with you guys, because I should have had all my videos and stuff together, but it's hard for me to send it out, because every time it tells me I can send something out, it says that it's too big and it wants to go to a cloud, and I don't know anything about the cloud, you know.
Yeah. Nobody does. Nobody does. I've been trying to figure out the cloud for 20 years. Anyhow.
I just know that I haven't had anything happen to me since I've been down here in the lowlands. Everybody else up there is I don't know if they're having anything going on up there, but I just know that I truly believe that whatever it was, I didn't interact with it. Those 6 months.
Describe the sound, okay, but I want to talk about the sound specifically, not just the sound. What were you hearing exactly? You say it sounded like a candy bar wrapper. What was it doing? And how far away was it?
Yeah, you see, I got sidetracked. So, anyways, it whenever that shotgun blast went off, it came bull rushing back up through the woods. I've got this on video. See, that's the whole thing. I've got it on audio. This thing come flying back up through the woods, and then all of a sudden, when it got up to the top of the hill, it stopped. I didn't hear it anymore, and I was laying on the ground, and I had my phone covered up, so my light wouldn't come on or anything like that, but it was still recording. I had my audio on, and it was, man, I don't even have
Well, we can't hear you now.
I think we lost his audio there. Todd, if you can hear us, we can't hear your audio.
It was like this right here.
There we go.
You hear that?
Yep.
Do you hear that?
It sounds like a candy bar wrapper.
Yeah.
I'm trying to run through my brain files to think if I've heard anything like that. So it's not a hum. It's more of like an electrical crackle, kind of an electrical kind of crackly sound.
Yeah. Somebody told me that it sounded like it was that bones.
Like what?
Somebody said that it was that they say that somebody was saying that dogmen, whenever they stand up on their hind legs or something like that, it sounds like their bones crackling or something, but I can't confirm that with with all that. I don't know exactly. As soon as I got a chance to get up after a few minutes, I got up and went back in my RV, which I thought I was safe at. But I never did. They always say when you come out your RV door, because you can run into a bear or anything else. So I've always from that point on, I'm always armed when I come out of my RV, just in case I am faced with a bear or a mountain lion or anything else, because I've got dogs, so they might come around and try to take my dog.
So do you think dogmen are real, Todd?
I mean, there's enough people out there that are seeing them. I mean, just because I mean, Bigfoot's not the only one. I mean, there's got to be other. There's got to be other things out there other than that. I don't know, man. I can't really. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that everybody's seeing things. You got people seeing fairies and everything else. So it's there's a lot of people seeing gnomes. I've never seen gnomes before, but that's kind of scary. Yeah,
I think,
man,
I think it would be scarier to see a gnome or some little thing than something big.
I agree.
Jeff, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Picture,
yeah,
okay.
like a little gnome would be way more terrifying to me than a Bigfoot for sure.
Why is that? So you walk around your corner in your house even, and you see a little thing standing there. That would be the freakiest. I get chills now just thinking about it.
Yeah, that would creep me out.
Isn't that what happened on Krampus with all the toys showing up? You ever seen Krampus? Krampus with all the gummy bears in the kitchen and stuff.
Movies.
Anyways, I just had some experiences, man. I thought it would be good to get out there and kind of get it out there so people could.
Yeah, no, it's cool. All right, we're gonna let you go. Your audio's the worst audio we've ever had, but your stories were great.
So. Yeah, heck yeah.
I'm so sorry.
But
next time,
it's great to have you on, man.
You live in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's the way it works.
The next time we talk, I'll make sure that I'm in a good studio or something, then we can talk a lot easier.
Yeah. So at some point, maybe we can do a show and you can go to a library or somewhere where they got good internet.
I'm gonna start calling you guys and letting you guys see some of the stuff that I've invented.
Yeah, love to see it.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, those guys with those cameras and all that stuff. Those guys, we need a 360-degree camera that you can have like 10 or 15 different eyeballs all the way around there, so you can disconnect them and use them singularly. You know what I mean? That way you can see the whole area rather than just putting one on a tree and seeing one side. You can see them all the way around it rather than having something that does a 360-degree ball movement or something like that. You don't want anything that moves. You want something stationary.
Well, they sell a little tiny camera now called a 360, and they're not that expensive. And you could literally just buy 3 of them, and it would cover completely around it.
You get them and you connect them together with some bungee cords and stuff like that. That way you can use them in singular, but you can also use them in tandem with other ones. But that one guy that was talking about what was it? The LRAD or whatever, the long range audio device that he was talking about, where he's like shooting sonic waves out to see lidar patches or something like that for video. Is that what he was talking about? The one guy with the two things that you put together for bouncing back and seeing things like on like a bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you bounce stuff off of things, kind of like like bats use sonar, right? They use sonar to go back and forth. He's got that whatever those are, those padded things that he had. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's, technology like that will be all commonplace at some point.
It's just wild. And everything else. Yeah. That's wild.
Remember when thermal cameras, when nobody knew what a thermal camera was.
You couldn't buy it.
Access to a micron thermal camera. They were like, 55 grand.
Yeah, they were big bucks back then.
Big bucks. Nobody knew what they were. People were amazed. And so now you can buy them on Amazon for $300. So there you go.
It's crazy.
It's changed. It's all getting better and better.
That's wild. Yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for being so
Thanks, Todd.
You guys are awesome.
And we really appreciate all your
nice and easy transition for me. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. And I'd like to actually come back on and give you an update at some point in time in the next 6 months or so.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'd love to have you.
Give you some other things that were going on, but I always forget things, man. I tell a story and everybody's like, man, that guy didn't tell it. They don't know what he's talking about. I'm not a storyteller, man. I'm just a normal dude that, that's out here, trying to live. I'm like everybody else, man. I'm just a guy out here trying to staying out of the limelight, man. And you just happen to see things that other people don't see,
I hear that.
That's all it is. But I appreciate you guys, man.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Todd. Good night.
Thanks, guys.
All righty.
Yeah, that set a new record for bad audio and bad video.
Good. It was good to talk to him. That was some interesting stuff.
Yeah. That was, so was it light when you had called him? I suppose the sun wasn't. Well, you got to tell people when the sun's out. You're gonna go this.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be different, but it's all right. We made it work.
That was camera test learning 101. That's for sure. But anyhow, interesting. And man, there's got to be a jillion people out there. That's what I always think, that have had tons of different experiences.
Yeah, well, especially where he was, up in Alaska, kind of the tail end of the Cold War. I bet all kinds of strange stuff happened up there.
Yeah.
UFOs and weird kinds of weird stuff.
All right, what do we want to do here? Let's go ahead and do our wisdom, and then we'll be back next week. We got a really good guest. I think we have a lady who had some sightings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, hang tight. We will be right back. It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. The rule of law exists to protect people from power, not power from people. When laws are applied equally, society remains stable and free. When laws are selectively enforced or ignored, justice fades and control takes its place. A nation stays strong not because laws are perfect, but because they are applied consistently to everyone. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
There we are. There we are. Okay, we will be back next week.
Yep.
Which is, I can't even believe it's like getting towards the end of January already.
25th? I think next Saturday is the 25th. So yeah, January is almost over.
Every day. So this is what keeps me hanging on in the winter. Every day the day gets longer by 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a little closer to the sun again. So every day, 3 minutes. And eventually spring will be here. So anyhow,
we'll be out on motorcycles soon.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry about some of the bad audio tonight. But that's, you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody in chat. Good to see you all. Appreciate you being here.
Yes. And we will see everybody next week. Good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should start falling, we'll head home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ever you should be in doubt, and I pray